Knowledge is power, or at least it's helpful information. Hi, I'm Esther Ryder, broker owner of Ryder Realty. I want to share my knowledge of almost 20 years as a realtor to teach you some very helpful information every buyer and seller might want to know. Aimed with this information, you should feel more comfortable in the process, have some of your questions answered in advance, and be ready to find your agent and successfully buy or sell a home. Thanks for joining us. Hey everybody, today we're going to talk about how to get ready to sell your house in the winter, some things you can do to prep in advance. So sometimes people know they're going to sell their house at a certain month. Maybe it's a certain month in the winter, maybe it's a certain month in the spring, whatever. They know in advance it's coming. Sometimes you don't, so it's always good to be prepared, especially if you are going to sell in the winter. So these are a few things that to let you know whether you know you're selling in the winter or not, but it can help you get ready, especially if you know you're going to sell in the winter. So here's the tips. The first one is you want to spring clean, starting with the inside in like late summer, early fall. So what that means is when I think of spring cleaning, and I'm not judging if you don't spring clean because I don't, but I'm just saying for the purposes of this conversation, when I'm talking about spring clean, I'm saying clean inside cupboards, that's bathroom and kitchen, organize cupboards, pitch things that need to be thrown away, have your carpets professionally cleaned, and clean all your woodwork, all your walls, and then clean out spaces like your basement. I think if you have a basement, and 95% of the people in our area do, you contend, or I contend, to collect junk, things that's not organized. Maybe it's in bins, maybe it's not, and it can fill up basements pretty quickly. So what you want to do is like organize that, and that also applies to garages and to sheds. Here's why. Because when somebody is in those spaces and they're clean and organized, the automatic thought is, oh, these people are clean within their entire house because their garage and their basement look this good. Is that accurate? I don't know. Maybe it's a little judgmental, but that's what people tend to think. And honestly, I tend to think that too. When those rooms are clean, it puts off that idea that the whole house is going to be that way. When those are messy or there's too much going on, and that includes in cupboards and closets, the thought that people have, and I know this because I hear them say it, is how long is it going to take them to pack up this house? I want to move in, 5 days after closing. They might need 35 days because there's so much they need to pack up. And it can overwhelm them a little bit just in terms of, is this mess going to mess up my time frame? Now, I understand that a basement is a basement, and other people do too. There are differences between, a one storage spot in the basement that's got stuff everywhere versus like the entire basement. So just something to think about. So that's what you can do to be ready with the inside. With the outside of your house, we're going to back up a little bit and start talking about like late spring. So what you want to do is get into people's head how beautiful your house looks. And this is how you do that. You can do things that are very inexpensive to make it look nice, and you can do things that are free. But you want the outside to look so nice that people drive by and remember your house. So here are some examples. You want to trim your bushes. You want to weed. Those are two free things. You want to get mulch if it's in the budget, even if it's just a thin layer. That makes a big difference. You want to keep your yard mowed regularly. Keep your grass short. Again, free. Well, gas for the mower, but basically free. Then the other things that you can do that aren't super expensive but can make a difference is going to be freshen things up. And you can do that by painting garage doors, painting chip paint around windowsills, making those look fresh, painting exterior of the doors, and also painting shutters if you have those. Those are easy things that you can do that make the house look great. Why? Because all summer long and all spring long and all fall until things get gross, people are seeing that this house is nice. And then when your house goes on the market in November or December or January or February, when in Ohio it's very cold and gross, at least in my opinion, it's cold and gross, people have remembered your house and they might think, oh, I remember how nice that house looked all summer. I can see myself living there. So that's kind of why we do it at that time. Now, let's say that you did all that and now it's February and it's dark early and it's gross and it's gloomy, unlike Florida or other places that might have more sunshine. What you can do is make sure that people remember what your house looked like by pictures. So here's what I mean. After you do that prep work in like late spring, for the yard and into the summer, when that yard is perfect and it's a nice sunny day and the yard's looking good and the trim looks good and everything's painted, take some pictures. What's interesting, I'm a picture maniac. I take way too many. But what is interesting to me is a lot of people will tell me, we love our yard. We love spending time there. We love being out there. Everything blooms so nice. We've been here for 20 years, but then they never take pictures. They just don't think about it, which is fine. Again, I take way too many pictures. So they don't have any pictures of those memories, because I'll ask, well, do you have any pictures? So why we're saying to take pictures is then when we list it in February, we're going to have that picture of, the outside of the house. That's meh, because it's February in Ohio. But then we can also add pictures of, this is what it looks like in the fall. Look at these beautiful leaves. This is what it looks like in the summer. This front porch is great. We love to sit there and look at our flowers and look at our trees and, look at how beautiful the landscaping is around us. So while we are showcasing that main picture of the current season, because obviously we want everything to be accurate, we're showing those other pictures. If it's February, you want to have a February picture up, but those other pictures will help people picture what your house looks like all year round. I said picture too many times, but that's okay. You guys get the point. So that is how you can prep your house for a winter sale earlier in the year. So let's review with your takeaway points. The first thing, you want to make sure that you do the inside. So you're going to spring clean, but more in like late summer, early fall. And that's when you're going to clean out all of your cupboards. You're going to clean out the kitchen ones. You're going to maybe get rid of old food or matching, or I guess mismatching containers. I don't understand this. It's like the sock fairy. We have a Tupperware or container fairy that you have lids but no containers, or you have containers but no lids. And I'm sure our house is not the only one like that. So this spring cleaning time that you're doing in the fall or late summer, that's when you can take care of those and get them out of the way. Maybe you have, food that's expired or spices that are expired. I got rid of all of ours and my husband informed me that spices don't expire. So maybe that's a debate at your house. But that's the stuff you're getting rid of. You're going to take care of that basement like we talked about. Organize it a little bit. See what needs to be there. See what you can throw away. Same with the garage. Same with the sheds if you have a shed. So the first takeaway is clean out those spaces and have your carpets clean and wipe down your walls and wipe down all of the trim and the ceiling for when you get dust in the corners. So you've done that inside clean, really, really good. It's all ready to go. So now all you have to do is maintain rather than try to get it all cleaned right before you list it if you have a listing in the winter. The second thing that you want to have as a takeaway is what to do on the outside. And that's going to be start with the free stuff. So that's trimming the bushes, weeding everything, and keeping the yard mowed. Then, if your budget can afford it, do fresh mulch. If we're aiming for a sale in the winter, you might not want to do the mulch at the end of May when a lot of people do. You might want to do a little bit then and then maybe finish or freshen it up, end of August or September. So it's good and ready to go. But the other thing you want to do that you can do that's a little bit of a cost but not huge is going to be some freshen up painting. And that's going to be front door, side door, back door if you have it, garage door, window trim, door trim, and also if you have shutters, now might be a time to freshen those up as well. So those are the exterior things that you can do so that when your house does go on the market, it was recently freshened up rather than like 5 or 6 months ago in the spring. The last thing I want to talk to you about in terms of your takeaway is, remember the pictures we talked about earlier? We want to use those on the MLS. So here's the thing. We're going to have a picture, that front picture of your house in the winter, because that's the season that we're in. So let's say it's January or February. We still want to have a nice day if we can, but who knows? There's not a whole lot of nice days in Ohio. So what we're going to do is take a picture, one of those winter pictures that it is what it is. People are expecting that. They know where they are. And then we're going to show some of those pictures that you took earlier in the fall and in the summer, but we can't display them if you haven't taken them. So what you're going to do is, I'm going to ask, do you have any pictures when everything's blooming? Because you just told me how great it looks when it's all blooming. And you're going to say, yes, I took some, and these are where they are. This is what they look like. And then we're going to take that picture and we're going to put it on the MLS. And then I'm going to say, and do you have any pictures from the fall? You know, you have these beautiful trees. I'm sure the leaves look great on them. Do you have any pictures from that time of year? Yes, I do. I took some. Great. So then on the MLS, we can have that winter picture. And then we can have an exterior picture that says, you know, in the summer, this is what the yard looks like. Look at these flowers that are blooming, or all of the things about your yard that are great to showcase in the summertime. We're going to showcase that in February with a picture. And then the next picture might be, and then this is what the yard looks like in October. Look at these beautiful leaves. Look how this tree has leaves that are a great color. This is what we want to showcase. And then we're going to have those. And then you can go into those regular inside pictures that you would normally see, or other outside pictures. So those are my tips for you if you think that you might sell in the winter and you're preparing in advance, or if you know you're going to sell in the winter and you're preparing in advance. I hope these help, and we'll be back with more tips in another video. Have more questions after today's episode? Please reach out. You can find our information in the show notes. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Have a blessed day.